Welcome back, it's me, Lou. Alright, for today's video, it is not going to be an unboxing. If anything, this is just going to be a strictly mint on-card review. So what we're looking at here is a G.I. Joe comic pack. This came out a couple years back. So if for those of you fans that remember, there was a period of time when Hasbro would release these comic book packs. They did it for G.I. Joe, they did it for Star Wars, and they even did it with Transformers. And it's kind of cool because, not only would you get action figures, but they'd also include a reprint of like a particular comic book. And these characters would be drawn, from this story. So in this particular comic book, it featured Breaker, Scarlet, and Cobra Commander. And the cool thing about these comic packs is that the figures you got, they're colored very uniquely. The color palette was a little bit more brighter and bolder than the usual figures. And that was just to reflect the way they appeared in the comic book. A nice thing with the G.I. Joe comic book line also was that if you were a fan of the older figures from like the early 80s, they kind of reused that similar mold, but then they'd kind of bring the figures into the present day by retooling the heads with like newer head sculpts, giving them much better paint jobs. So these comic book packs, it's something Hasbro doesn't do anymore, but I'm very fond of them. I think they're great. I used to have a small collection of these, and unfortunately, or fortunately, during one of the Christmas drives some years ago at my work, I gave them away to charity. But I figured, maybe some, lucky kid would get them and, be sucked into the world of G.I. Joe or Star Wars, because I also gave away my Star Wars comic book packs. But what we have here is one I came across recently. I got this at one of my local toy stores, Wax Packs Records and Toys, located in beautiful Roselle, Illinois. So if you're ever in the Chicagoland area, check it out. I love the place. So I got this. It's awesome. I'm very fond of these characters to begin with. Breaker was one of my first G.I. Joe figures as a child. Always a big fan of Scarlet. Anytime there's a Scarlet figure, I just love that. And Cobra Commander, this is the hooded Cobra Commander. It's interesting though because this design of Cobra Commander in the artwork is not reflective of classic Cobra Commander. This is more so Cobra Commander taken from, I think it was the early 2000s G.I. Joe vs. Cobra line. So that's kind of curious. But moving on to the figures, let's take a closer look at these, if we can get them into focus. So yeah, we have Breaker on the left, Scarlet in the middle, and Cobra Commander on the right. These are very classic molds, but with like newer head sculpting and much better paint applications. As you can see, the color palette, it's a little bit more punchy. It's a lot brighter than the standard figures. And it's cool that we even got like comic book inspired artwork. Yeah, so this is pulled. So these characters are pulled from issue 9 of G.I. Joe. So this is a reprinted comic, and for those of you that remember, at least in the United States, the G.I. Joe books were published by Marvel. But in this case, of the reprinted books that were included with the toys, there's no Marvel branding anywhere on the comic book. Because I think by this time, I want to say it might be IDW that has the license for G.I. Joe. But as of, I think, 2023, that's going to change. I think IDW is going to lose the license to produce Transformers and G.I. Joe books. Alright, it's cool too. So with each figure, they have their own file card or bio. It's great. It's a great read, especially if you're like into absorbing knowledge about these characters. It gives them their legit shoot name, their rank, their specialist, their background. It even gives their social security number, which is kind of funny. And it gives their grade. I'm not sure what that means. If at first I thought that meant their like educational level. Like, he only went to like elementary school up until the 4th grade. But I think I'm wrong on that. And over here, it kind of teases the other comic book packs that are available. There's even a Dreadnought one, and I actually have this, but I only have the figures loose. I don't have the mint on card anymore. But it was cool though. You got 3 Dreadnoughts in a comic book pack. Yeah, so I'm very fond of these. These are very awesome. Word of caution, these could run for a lot of money. So if you still have a mint on card, take care of them. If you're on the hunt for them, shop around for a bargain. I got this at a really, really decent price. But chances are, if you hunt these down on eBay, they might cost you a tiny fortune. I believe these weren't as mass produced as it's like the standalone figures. But they're awesome. It's a little bit of toy history. All right, with that being said, once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, and most importantly, be happy. And I will see you at the next one.